making this little video just to show you exactly how to do your assignment. The assignment we did in class, it only had one bottle. So I wanted to show you how to do this. The first thing that you need to do is you need to make an individual path around each one of these cans. I'm not going to do that. I already did it. So here are my paths. Here's my paths panel. I have can number 1, can number 2, and can number 3. The better that you do these paths, the better your mock-up will be. Okay, so what we're going to do is you'll see over here in layers that I don't have anything going on, starting right from the beginning for y'all. Let me move this up a teeny bit. Okay, so let me turn this off. I'm just going to click down here. The first thing that we want to do is I'm going to make a copy of my background. I always do that just, so I have another copy, Command J. The second thing that I'm going to do here is that, now if I had some color that I needed to take out of here, I would do that now, but I don't need to because this reflection doesn't have any color in it, so that's fine. The third thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a curves adjustment layer, and that's just going to be sitting here waiting for when I put my designs on here in case I need to adjust them. I'm not going to do anything right now, so I can just close that, and that's just going to be sitting here waiting for, waiting for me to use it. Now, I could do this mock-up 2 different ways. I could have all these 3 cans be the exact same thing, or I could have them all be different. For your assignment, you're going to have all of these be different, okay? So if I wanted these all to be the same, I'm going to show you a variation of that, but since that's not what you're doing for your assignment, I'm not going to show you that now. So we're going to make a mock-up where this is going to be 1 variety, 2nd variety, and 3rd variation, basically 3 variations of the same drink. And the first thing that I'm going to start with is that I need to make God, I just lost my words completely. Ay, Dios mío. I need to do a shape layer that's going to be our smart object, that's going to be the label. And it should be right about the size of the can. If you feel like it's going to help you, you can make some guides that are just outside the can line, just outside where the can is. And if you think this is going to help you, that's cool. You don't have to, but why not? So this is the size of our label. I'm going to go over here to my shape layers. I'm going to make sure that I have shape layers here. I have a fill, but no stroke. And it doesn't matter what color it is at all. It's going to change. I'm going to give myself a rectangle here. And the first thing that I do, right off the bat, is I'm going to make this into a smart object. So I can either go to the layer options button and I can convert it to a smart object there. I could right click it and convert it to a smart object here. I could control click it. Any way that you want to do it, this needs to become a smart object. Now, I find that when I'm warping this shape, the guides are a little bit of a pain in the butt, so I'm going to hide them for now. I'm going to go to View, Show, and then I'm going to go to uncheck the guides right here. And now my guides are hidden. I still need for this to be see-through, so I'm going to go over to the layer blending modes and choose linear burn. You could also choose multiply. It's got a little bit of a lesser effect, but we want linear burn here. Works really nice with metallics. I'm going to choose linear burn. And now the next thing that I need to do here is I need to warp this. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to start warping on the top and move down. I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to go to Transform, and I'm going to go to Warp. Most important shape is the top and the bottom of the can here. And don't forget that after you're done, you can always go back and change this. So right away, I know that this is going to come down. I can move this a little bit closer if I want to 2. What I'm really wanting is the bottom of this lip that's right here, right? So I'm going to move this also down. I want the bottom of the lip. I can also grab right here in the middle and move this down. So I want the bottom of the lip, and it's okay if I go over a teeny bit. And don't forget, you can always adjust. You can adjust these points. Okay. So I'm just taking a second. I'm warping this so that it goes right under this aluminum lip right here. Now, down in here, I'm going to need to get, there's a little bit of a problem where if I move this in here, obviously I'm going to be cutting off a little bit of the label there. I'm not going to really worry about that right now because my pen tool, where I did my pen tool, it is actually going to take this part off of it right in here. So I don't have to worry about that, okay? So I have the top. I'm going to do Command 0 so I can go all the way out. And I need this to also, to curve around. And I want it to follow the curve. I don't have to be so precious with this one because this doesn't have a bottom ring on it. It just needs to curve a little bit. And then these just need to follow the curve. And you'll see as I pull this one down in the middle, the other one pulls down a little bit too. And when you get your text on this, if it needs to, you can adjust it a little bit more. And it's okay if it's outside of the can. Okay, so I'm going to hit on return, and then, oops, actually, I have to fix this really quick. I need it to be outside of the can. Make sure that it's outside of the can. Okay. And you want these adjustments to be pretty even. Okay. So now that this is all made, I'm going to mask this. I'm going to go into my paths, and I'm going to command click on this path that I made, and then with this selected, I have my smart object here. I'm going to add a layer mask. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do the exact same thing that you did here for this one and this one. The only trick here is you got to make sure that when you make this label, let's do it again, you make it a smart object before you manipulate it. And I'll show you what I mean. So what I'm going to do is let's make another rectangle. Okay. Now, let's go over here, another rectangle, right? And I need this rectangle, you want these to all be the same size, right? So I could just kind of freeform it here, but if I'm doing something and I want it to be really exact, then a better plan maybe for this rectangle, instead of just drawing another one and drawing another one here, how about if I open this as a smart object, and here's the size that I made, right? So if I do select all, and then I do edit, and I do copy, right? And I close this. Okay, hold on a second. Let's see. Oh, okay. Sorry, I had to think about this. So because this is just a color-filled path, essentially, what I need to do is, if I want this to be exactly the same size, I'm going to open it, and then I'm going to go File, and I'm going to go Save As, and I'm just going to save it on my desktop. I'm going to call it like label size. And I don't want it to be a PSB. I want it just to be a regular Photoshop file. So save. I'm going to close this up and close that up. Okay. We did that in class. Okay, so this is the reason that I did that. I want all three of these to be the exact same size. And so I made one. I saved a copy of it. And now what I can do is I can go File, Place Embedded, find the size that I just made, which I called it label size, right? Place. and it's and hit return. Okay, now it's already it is already a smart object, right? So that's perfect. And so now if I warp it, right, I'm gonna set it to linear burn, and I'm gonna hit Command T, right, and I'm gonna twist this one. Let's just do. I'm gonna do this guy down here. Just gonna do 2. You guys get it, right? So I'm gonna stretch this out so that it covers the whole, the whole can. And it's about the same size. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, I'm gonna hit return. And it's already a smart object, so let me go into my warp filter. So edit and transform and warp, and I'm gonna pull, I need this to be, this has to be up a little bit, right? So that it follows the bottom of the can. Okay, then this needs to come down a little bit so it follows that perspective. And this needs to come down so that it follows this bottom lip of the can. Okay. Just going to go ahead and do something like that. Okay, I'm going to hit return. And then I'm going to mask this out. I'm going to open paths. Here's can number 3. I'm going to command click on it. And then I'm going to add a mask. I would do the exact same thing that I did for this middle can in here. And what I've essentially made here is these right here, these are all of my mock-up layers that I can change things on. And so I'm gonna give myself a little note. Now I'd have another one, I'd have a third one for your assignment, but I'm not gonna do that one. And then what you wanna do is you wanna design, you want to design 3 different labels to show your different beverages. And it's so easy to do once you have the label. You just double click on the smart object, and you come down here and say, you fill this with whatever you want the wrapper to be. I'm just going to go to pattern, and I'm going to put a pattern adjustment layer on here. Let's do dragon fruit. Okay. I'm going to close this up. I'm going to save it. And then here's my dragon fruit. Let's go to the second one. Double click it. This is going to have a different pattern. I'm going to go down, pattern adjustment layer. I'm going to go over here. Let's make this one peaches. Okay. And let's close it, save it. Okay, there's the second one. And then I'd have a third one here. Now, I could also put my label on the same way. I can go double click this, go file, place embedded, and then I can find the label that I made for this. Okay, I think I have one in here. We did this in the class lab. I'm just going to use this juiced label thing that I made. Okay, and you know that this is about the size of the can, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. You're going to have to play with this a little bit. Now it's telling me that it's in the middle, so I'm going to save this. Okay, save it. And then if it's not right, you move it around a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to put the same label on here. Now, this is why you saved it as a smart object before you turned it, so that when it opens right side up and it opens nice and flat. And then I'm going to place embedded, and I can put my label. So for each one of these, I want you to have a different pattern, and I want you to have a different label. Okay, that's right in the middle. Let's save it. Save. Okay. And then we have our can. Now, in this case, the way that the pattern was applied, the way that I turned it, you notice that when I turned this, I turned it to the right. So Photoshop thinks that this is the top and this is the bottom. It matters. It matters which way you move things, to what Photoshop thinks it is. So in this case, make sure that here's the top of this. So when you make your square, you put your square in, turn it this way, right? This one you would turn this way, right? So, so this is basically how you do this. Now, in order to finish this, there's a couple things you can do. Maybe you want to give it a color in the background. That's easy enough. I have my three paths here. I'm going to hold down Command. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all three of these, and then I'm going to Command click, right? Okay, actually I'm going to do that, and now I have all three of these selected. And with all three of these selected, I'm going to put in, I can go here, let's put a solid color in, and, oh, wait a minute, no, that's not what I want to do. Deselect, hold on. Sorry. Let's put a solid color for the background. Let's make it like a nice light yellow, something like that. That looks nice, okay? And then this is here in the very background. Let's set this to, I'd say, overlay. Let's see, screen, lighter color, multiply. That's what I'm looking for. I'm going to set this one to multiply, okay? And then I don't want it to be on the label, so that's why I'm going to come here and I am going to select all three of these paths, make a selection with this button, and then on this right here, I'm going to mask this. Now I already have this mask, so I'm going to fill this with black, which essentially is making a layer mask of these, and I can deselect. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to put some shine back. See how flat this looks? If I turn this off, there is a lot more shine on this can, and it just doesn't really look that good. So what we want to do is take this layer, make a copy, Command J, move this to the very top, and then with this layer we go into Filter, we go into Camera Raw Filter, and we can we want to take the saturation all the way down to -100. And the other thing that we want to do is we want to go to exposure, and we want to take exposure down so that really just the shine remains. So I'm taking it down to like 370, 360. You'll know when you're there. It's just everything is very dark except for the shine. And of course this doesn't look good, so we're going to set this guy, we're going to set this one to screen, right? And then you put a lot of shine back. Okay, see the shine that it put back into everything? The only problem is I don't really want it on the background, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this mask and I'm going to option copy it up here. And then I have my my comp. Now, I think that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is upside down, and the reason it's upside down is that when I made it, and let me redo this to just show you my mistake, okay? So I'm going to throw this one away, okay? So let me put in my, let's start from scratch. Let's do another one. So File, Place Embedded, and it's on the desktop. Okay, I saved it as like label size or something. Yes, I did. Okay, place. Okay, this is the top. This is the bottom. Before I turned it this way, so the top was on the bottom. It needs to be turned this way. And it's already a smart object because when you place something in, it's a smart object. Okay, so now I moved it the other way. I can go here, I'm going to make a selection, Command, and then I'm going to mask this, right? I'm going to set this to linear burn. And now if I go and I paste something in here, it's going to be right side up. Let's get a pattern. Let's do bananas. Right, let's save. And these are going to be right side up. And the label would be right side up also. Oops, that's not what I want. No. Okay, so let's see, we did this in class, we did the logo, and in here. The other thing that you want to do is you're going to need to have a logo that you're going to make. Don't use this one. Make your own logo. So you're going to need to make logo and a pattern. for yourself. Okay. Now, I didn't warp this, and that's why you can really see that it didn't get warped, but you get the picture. Okay, so this is basically how you do this one. You want, for the assignment, you want 3 different variation of a beverage. You need to design the patterns, you need to design the little logo, and you need to build the comp. Okay, and so that's your assignment. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, bye.